The homepage is the page that creates the overall impression of the company. And often this happens in just a matter of seconds. So you have your visitor landing, say, from a branded search, they have heard from it from their friend, etc. And now they are there judging you, seeing if they want to continue onward or not. So this video, we are going to focus on your storefront window, so to say, the home page, and especially the hero section to begin with. So let's dive into this one. But before we do, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, make sure to do so. We do a lot of e-commerce on-site optimization specific content to help you boost your conversion rate and up that average order value rate so you can make more money. I'm your host, Samuel Larsen, founder of growgurus.com, and we help 6- and 7-figure e-commerce stores get to the next level with on-site optimization. With that said, let's look at the benefits of front page optimization really quickly. So first of all, if you have a great front page, you will be able to capture attention better, meaning you will have a lower bounce rate in general from this front page. And then not only will you be able to do that, so you have more people continuing onward, you will be able to inform and educate them to be better aware of your brand's benefits. You can do that in like a very quick and concise way, which still helps with the credibility, leading to a higher conversion rate for the end purchase. And then lastly, as the third big thing that you can achieve with your front page, just direct visitors to the next step. So people will find their ideal shopping path and get along with the broker. So those are the three main things that we're looking to achieve here. There's 7 different points that I'm going to go over, and we'll hop onto the screen share to keep this practical. So here we are with the screen share, and here I showed an example of a behavior flow report of a store without these optimizations. And you can see here 50% of the total traffic are leaving when they land or start on the front page. So this kind of like what the actual fuck is like the power of these changes. Because you see like on a benchmark example here, you have half the traffic that came in probably quite motivated to the store, just left without even browsing. So that's the power of this thing here. And that's why I want to go ahead and do this well and pay attention. So first of all, hero image. So let's go and check here. We have Perfect Keto. And here they have a high resolution optimized hero banner. So this is not just an image. It is a specifically created banner image. It's a huge difference because you can have an image that is wide and just like goes over the actual text. So here maybe like you have a little bit of that here, like on mobile, for example, where you have the different elements that you wanted to highlight, but it's going on top of it. It's not the biggest example or the most significant one, but these things happen a lot and all the time because it's difficult to get a good banner image in general. So this is a great one. Shows the products, shows the product line. And if you had, for example, a product that is a little bit more aesthetic, you could use something like this. This shows the product in context. So when put in context, users can better visualize owning it. And this way, they're more likely to eventually own it. So they immediately understand, for example, the aspects of the bed and how that would look in this kind of case. So it helps in getting that feeling of comfort going on. If this was just a bed with a plain background, then you might wonder how big is it, how would it look like in a typical room, and these kinds of things. So it makes a difference. And there it helps if you can put it into some kind of size context in these kind of cases. In this one, you have the different options. So there, even if you didn't particularly remember what you had last time, you can look into this like, oh, this is actually the same color, so it might be like something related to that. Or if you're a first-time visitor, you can also get a pretty good idea of the offers here. So that's on the hero image. I'm going to load a couple of more examples as well. So example number 3 for the hero banner is a moving image like this. But notice how this is also made for e-commerce. So you have the headline on the left, and you have the person on the right. So it's specifically for e-commerce. Also for mobile, see how well it works on this one. So this is no accident. They have really thought like, where do we put text? Where do we put the moving image? And well done here. Quick example as an example fourth example. This is a similar thing as you saw with the supplements. But here, again, no example. You can see the mobile here left, how this also is well thought out on terms of where does this headlines go, where does the picture go. And it plays together. It's not in combat with each other. So that's on the hero image section. And let's jump right into the point number 2, which is the prominent CTA button. So here you have a clear path already from the front page into something else. So here this leads them to the products. On the other sides we have job self-care. Here we have join now, which is actually like quite an aggressive CTA. Might want to adjust a little bit, but at least it's somewhat clear. You have the 30-day keto kickstart program that you'll be joining from here. So it explains it on the headline or the subheading in this kind of case. And here it's a sub-bid basis. So again, like a clear example here as well. So you know what you're going to get into, and the call to action button is prominent. Here it's also placed above the fold, so it's not hidden underneath the scroll. You just need to see, read, and click. No need to scroll. Then it goes to a clear place next, so we know what's behind the click. It's standing out from the page. So here clearly different color than the rest of the banner. So this is important as well. If you can also use visual cues. You don't need to. So for example, you have a person that could look into the call to action. It's more likely to make it noticed. Generally, if you have a person, people's eyes are drawn to faces. So that's why you would want to have them look at the call to action. And then here also on all of these examples, they are sticking to one primary call to action. There's no competing call to actions. There's no 2 buttons here that look the same. Or like there's no 3 buttons here that look the same type of thing. Exception with the prominent call to action, or the single one, is when you have a clear choice. You clearly fall into the 2 categories. So everyone would clearly know, or most people at least, whether they are women or men. Like so that's an easy choice. It doesn't stop you. So those are also examples of prominent call to action buttons above the fold. All right, pointer number 3, clear headline copy. So lose weight, curb carvings, boost your energy. Those are the benefits of this, and it's clear. Then you have a subheading that explains the button. Clear. No unclarity there. There's nothing fancy here about this. So also, this is what we sell, adjustable beds. These are like behind the button. This is what you're going to get. You can save money with this option. Here you will be like understanding that like it's bone broth, and it helps you be healthier, I believe, or at least live better in some way. So there, like it's a wellness product to support health and happiness. Pretty clear. So no ambiguity there. No trying to get cute. It's simply like a value in a clear and credible way, ideally. So that's good fundamentals. And first, like you need to nail the fundamentals before you can go through and really crush it with your front page. So let's look at this like from the value perspective. Like you need to be able to understand what's in it for the customer. So clearly this headline does it very well. Lose weight, curb carvings, boost your energy. So there is a benefit that the user would get for his money. So they need to understand the value. It's clear. So these sentences are simple and clear. It's like benefit dot. Next line, benefit dot. Next line, benefit dot. So it's like very unlikely that this would be misunderstood. Very unlikely that we would actually be able to make it shorter either. So from this perspective, it achieves clarity, which typically like trumps like fancy persuasion. So we're just eliminating all confusion and complicated words and jargon and these kinds of things, making the sentences short and punchy. Also, credibility can be a little bit difficult. But here they do have a workbook, for example, helping with this. And this is like one where you might not hit that like complete believability at this point, but it's difficult to get everything always in one sentence. So at least you hit the value of clarity. Next up, we are going to graduate from the banner and look into other parts of the front page. Now, after the banner, it's very good to follow up with the message with a social proof section or like a social proof strip. Here you can either use a third party like Amerisleep is using. So they have these different mentions, and there's different ways to do this. So I'll show you examples to inspire you. But here you can play around. It doesn't always have to be the social proof, because you can also explain your value proposition here. But this kind of way of doing it, like, lets the banner breathe a little bit before you jump into the products, and it can confirm that like there is a believable claim on the banner as well. So use this to highlight the value propositions, highlight the social proof, whichever angle you want to take. But you have very little downside in using something like this, even if it's just like a quick review section to break up the page a little. So here you have that, and oftentimes people say that they don't believe it, etc. But it can still work on them on a subconscious level. So that's very important to understand as well. So then point number 5, provides navigation further into store. So that's kind of like a guideline here. So just like in retail, you have your store window. You want to have different options to the store. So in this kind of case, Gymshark, for example, is using this approach where they are trying to have people understand or like choose whether they are, well, not understand whether they are women or men, but like make a decision to then funnel them further into different options. So here it repeats the call to action at the end, and you have no other choice basically but to choose this when you get to the end. So there they start funneling people further into the different categories. So are you interested in t-shirts, or are you interested in bottoms? You can click here, that kind of thing. So goal, get people further into the store, and from there you can then start working your magic. So here's an example from Patagonia.com where they have the categories underneath the banner, and here you'd want people to self-identify as interested in one of these categories. And from there, you can then work further into it. So here's the men's section where they have the new arrivals, fleeces, shirts, etc. So you're trying to funnel it further, but that's not really front page related, but just saying that like there is a method to this madness. So the front page promotes the site-wide offers, and then you have choices to like navigate to these different offers. Next up, we have the About Us section. There's multiple different ways to do this, and this is point number 6. So there's a story behind the brand, story behind the founder, story behind the product, and this is explained on the front page. So people don't always go to the About Us page to learn about it, but this is something that we can rely on as like an element that is unlikely to hurt. And depending how much good you have to say about your brand, you can take different approaches here. So I'm going to share a couple of different ways. So here's like one that is next to the footer, and it's in a way the most hidden option to include this right above the footer. In this kind of case, the benefit of it is that if people are scrolling down and they haven't really connected with the products yet, then you have an option for them to connect a little bit more with the brand, and perhaps like turn a skeptical buyer or a browser into a little bit more of an advocate. So that's the footer approach. Then you have the mid-page approach. So this is just in the middle of the page, you have the how we're different. So this is a good approach to attack the industry or attack the status quo in a way that is short and punchy. So it doesn't take a lot of effort or space from this page. It doesn't really make it more complicated. It's just a clear additional section. Here's another example of that, the Our Story, as discussed earlier. So you have the story on a left-right content video. So this kind of like guarantees or proves the story that they have actually been to Mongolia, where this cashmere is from. And there's a learn more button about this as well. So especially good for the brands that have higher average order values in general, or are looking to be luxurious or specific quality or trustworthy of these kinds of things. Here's another example of the About Us, or you could combine this a little bit like as a value strip as well, but this is telling about the brand. So you have vegan, you have cruelty-free, stress-free support. So you can also use these kinds of things. And here's a lengthier version of the About Us section. So this is actually like almost like a page itself. They have an entire thing here on explaining the product and like why they started the brand in the first place. So that's also another approach. Here I definitely include the link to the About Us page as well for the ones that want to read even more. But that's a good little implementation there. So number 7, the social proof aspect of it. So of course, all brands are trying to be something or being something, and all buyers are typically skeptical. So here, the front page, you can start thinking like, where am I in terms of social proof on, say, scale of 0 to 10. And if you have a very low score in an industry where you should have a high score, so for example, you could say nutrition or these kinds of things, maybe an industry where you can get away with a lower score is one where you're mostly competing on price, or you have pretty much products that don't have much of a difference versus each other. So that's something to consider. In that case, like a social proof can actually even work against you, because now you are stopping the people from purchasing. But here, the homepage can highlight photos of news sites, blogs, celebrities, where the product or brand has had any good PR exposure. So in this kind of case, like they have quotes from the different brands. Also, ideally, these are well-known brands, so you highlight those logos as well. Then you can also consider if you have a little bit more of a clothing or a store with more of a visual appearance, you can consider adding the Instagram widgets there. We have seen, of course, this is not 100% comparable, because all the users without UGC didn't necessarily engage on the page as much, but it can hugely benefit from user-generated content. This is from Yotpo, where some of these niches and stores did a ton better once they had, like for example, Instagram carousels and these kinds of things, or a lot of reviews with photos. So this is an authentic way to social proof that the product is worth buying. Helps also to establish the brand loyalty and access a trust signal as well, and often more effective than the influencer marketing can be. So here's a good example of user-generated content on the front page, where they have some reviews here. I think they're overdoing it a little bit here, but they also have an older audience, so it matters more. So there's these products being used. A couple of other ways that you can do it is, of course, this is also user-generated content, where they have the reviews here, or you can boost your social proof massively if you can get influencers to help you with this. This is G Fuel, one of the best energy drinks, or at least like most famous ones, that doesn't have sugar. So they have all these different influencers helping out here and promoting the product. So this can bring you, in a way, instant credibility, because you can just borrow this credibility from these people. So that's that. 7 different tips and guides for crushing it with your front page. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like this video. Make sure to check out the next videos coming up. We have different optimization videos specific for different areas of your store, as well as the existing videos that we already have for the product page, part page, collection page, and these kinds of things. So you don't have to stop here, but I hope that you implement at least 1 or 2 of these, and then you will already see a lot better results. If you are ready or open to taking your store to the next level, you've already had a little bit of success, but like hitting that ceiling with your success, feel free to reach out to us. You can look at growcruise.com for more information on how we kick ass on our clients. So thank you, and see you in the next video. Cheers.